So as a recovering cerebralist, right, as someone who actually wants to move away from the head, I'm very trained here and want to get closer to the body. Would this continuum movement be a great modality for someone like me who's super heady?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
ever done, by the way, Vipassana?
Mhm.
Okay.
I have not done the 10-day retreat, but I would like to at some point.
So I'll reveal a little bit about Vipassana is one of the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, precisely because you sit still and you focus on just for the first 3 days, you just focus on this area in your face. For
That's
3 freaking days.
That's
And
amazing.
and the whole point of it
Amazing.
is to develop the modality, the fidelity of your own awareness before they broaden the scope to everywhere else and the
Mhm.
internal, the external, all that stuff. But it
Mhm.
was torturous, dude. It was pretty crazy. So,
Mhm.
so
Yeah. So
is
challenging.
it similar to
So
continue?
there's so much, there's such a similarity to what I was just talking about. Yeah. Because anytime you bring your awareness into such a fine, specific place, it's like our minds are so conditioned to want to go anywhere but here, anywhere but this present moment. And that's why meditation practices and somatic practices, it sounds so simple, and yet it's so challenging because our minds are just wanting to race and run and go explore, and they are like, yeah, they're like wild animals, and disciplining the mind to stay present is so challenging.
So one of the key metaphors that I love, instead of trying to beat your mind into into discipline, into submission, think of it as a puppy.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
whenever it wanders, you're not gonna beat your puppy.
Of
Well, I mean,
course.
some
Yeah.
people do. The
Right.
effective way to do it is to bring him back. Oh
Right.
yeah, here puppy, in a loving
Right.
ways, and then you eventually, and it never ends.
That's right.
But at the same time, eventually you will be able to do it for longer, do it for more sustainable ways. So I'm curious to know your thoughts around this whole idea
That's right.
of meditation.
That's right. Yeah, I agree completely. I think that trying to be too harsh with ourselves and try to beat the mind into submission does not do anything any good. I love your analogy of the puppy. I think it's perfect because you would be kind to that puppy. You would be compassionate, and yet you would be direct too. And one of my teachers once said that when dealing with the body, deal with it in a way that is very much like an animal, because it is an animal.
Mm,
And the animal doesn't really understand complex statements or concepts, doesn't really understand things like, if you're trying to focus more, the body doesn't understand things like, it would really be good for you to focus more, because if you focus more, then you'll be able to get these things on your to-do list done, and then you'll hopefully be able to feel more satisfied with yourself and XYZ. The body doesn't really know that language. The body only knows sit, stay, sit,
mm,
stay,
mm, mm.
pay attention. It's like a direction. If you can give your body a direct direction, just in the same way that you would give a dog is not going to understand all these concepts.
Complex arguments. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't pee on the rug because I don't like to clean up the smell. And when my guests come in, blah, 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 all that stuff, the
yeah.
dog is not going to know anything. But don't pee on the rug, being very like, and then move the dog where it needs to be moved. And we need to do the same thing to ourselves, because we actually are in animal bodies. And I think that's one of the most challenging things to remember, is that we actually are never separate from our animal, and our animal only understands things through a very direct, simple communication.